In a Pickle with Gene Moore, sponsored by GeneMooreComedy.com. What's up, everybody? This is Gene Moore, and welcome to my new show. I'm so glad that you're here. It's a new podcast called In the Pickle. So if you're at the job, in the car, or at home, I hope you're having a good day or night, wherever it is. And thanks again for joining me. This is brought to you by Gene Moore Comedy, GeneMooreComedy.com, where you can go and find out where I'm going to be in a city near you, or you can get some merch ideas, a candle, or a t-shirt. So check out GeneMooreComedy.com. Proud sponsor of the Gene Moore podcast. So thanks, guys. Welcome to the show. It's the first one. As you can see, we've spared no expense on the graphics, on the design, on the set location. We have everything here but a craft table. And I'm starving, and my boyfriend is not allowing me to eat until we get this done. So we got to do it fast because I'm hungry. But I like it. And, as we go forward, we're going to get better. I'm poor and I'm an artist, and I'm just letting that happen. I'm not ashamed of being poor. I'm third generation poor. I come from a long family of poor people. And because I'm gay, it's probably the only tradition I can keep going for them. So I'm going to do my best. I'll tell you how poor I am once. When I was single, newly moving out and got my first place, I went to Rent-A-Center and got me a pleather couch, a sectional, and I thought I was the shit with that pleather, and I paid for it on time. I think it took me like 4 years. I made payments on that. I moved to a couple of states and took it with me. So God bless Rent-A-Center for helping this poor bitch out. I'll tell you a funny story about that. I lived in Texas, and I took that pleather, black leather couch with me, and it was hot, and I was too poor to turn on the air. And my friend Ronnie came over. He's a little bit of a tramp, but he was wearing real short shorts because he was skinny. And so he came over to my house, and he sat down, and when he stood up because of the sweat and the pleather, he dragged the cushion with him for a little bit, and I wasn't mad at him because I found out, there's my missing remote that had been missing for a while. So thank you, Ronnie. Shout out to Ronnie and your sweaty legs on my pleather couch, which I was just ahead of my time because leather is bad, and I'm not going to do that. But really, it was because I was poor. I also have a memory. My good friend Ray Howard, I think he bought. I hope he doesn't get mad, but I think he made payments on a toaster oven from Mervyn's. I think he even got behind on it, which is hilarious. My friend Ernesto, one time, his grandmother got a phone call from Fingerhut Collections because she was behind on her bills. So, when you're poor, you still are going to get the same stuff. You just got to pay for it on payments. Back in the day, we used to have this thing called layaway. Chris, do you remember layaway? No? Yeah, layaway was the thing where you could get clothes, and then you'd go back and get them. It was you'd make your payments, and then they never fit me by the time we got our money together. So that was a shame. But this podcast is also being recorded in my home, and Chris is my IT person, my writer, my right hand man, my boo. Hopefully we're not going to get into fights. We've had a few fights, and but I think we're good. Which funny story, I don't think that we've had a fight for like 12 years, but he told me that we had a fight 2 months ago. So I don't.
We had a fight last night.
We did have a fight last night. Was it last night or the night before? It was the night before.
It was last night.
Yeah. Well, I was hungry and he was pushing me. But anyways, bygones are bygones. Anyways, I'm so glad that he's here. And we're doing this together like Lucy and Ricky Ricardo. I don't know which one of us is Lucy or which one is. Hopefully I'm the Ethel, the fat one. Am I Mr. Mertz? The fat one? Oh, God, I am gaining weight. I am. In a Pickle is a show that we're going to talk about things that are in a pickle. Why? Because when I was thinking about doing podcasts, I was thinking of a few things that I could do. I was going to do a cooking show, but I can't cook shit. I am not a cooker. I cannot cook anything, and that would be a lie, not authentic. Chris and I were going to do a podcast on Grand Prix racing, but that was a lot of research, and that was a lot of work, and it was, quite frankly, quite boring. I don't even know why straight people love sports so much. I mean, every sport involves a ball, and you should share the ball. You know what I mean? That's what I say. Share the ball. Quit fighting over it. Balls are fun. Anyways, it's June Pride. It's Gay Pride. So that's why we get those little jokes in there. So we want to talk about in a pickle. Let me tell you who's in a pickle. Gene Moore. Every time I get gas, yesterday Chris was telling me top off, put all the gas in the car. I'm like, no, I don't want Joe Biden to have all my goddamn money. I swear to God, no. I'm going to keep a little bit of money. I don't fill all the way to the top. Joe Biden don't get it. And you may say Joe Biden isn't to blame of that. I don't know who is to blame of it. So I'm going to blame Joe Biden. That's what I'm going to do. Even though I like Joe Biden, I voted for him. I'm not too keen on the vice president, only because I am a petty bitch. And I remember in 2019 when she was running for president and this guy from PETA, she was in San Francisco, jumps on the stage and runs towards her. Terrifying, I know. And it grabs the microphone and she just gives it to him and just, lets it happen. I'm like, no, if you're going to be president of the United States, I need you to kick some ass. Do some karate, do something. Act like you have Tourette's, something, pull hair. I don't know, do something. But I mean, if the Chinese walk into the White House, are you just going to give them the key? For God's sakes, Joe Biden. Anyways, I am not a hater on Joe Biden like a lot of people are. They think he's too old. I don't think he's too old. I think he's getting his work done. I do worry about him finishing out his second term. I don't think that's realistic. You know what I mean? He's 80. And again, I'm not making fun of him for being old because I myself am getting old. I myself need a new car and been looking at Buicks, which everybody knows is an end-of-life car, something that you drive comfortably to go see your doctor for doctor appointments. So not making fun of the old people. If I would, I'd be making fun of Dianne Feinstein. But she needs to go home. Where are her people? For God's sakes, come get her. Her eye. You seen her on the news, Chris? Her eye is all red. She doesn't even know where she is. And what is she, like 90? What is she? She's old. She's earned the right to be at home, for God's sakes. I don't know. All of Washington, D.C. is in a pickle. I'll tell you someone that's in a pickle, that liar mouth, what's her name? Lauren Boebert. What a liar mouth. She makes all these posts and all these announcements that she's not going to vote for the debt ceiling, which, can we just be really frank here? And that is the Republican Party has turned into the deadbeat party dad. The deadbeat. Hold on.
Deadbeat dad party.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for. I know I'm dumb. Thank you.
What's going on with that cord?
I feel like it's covering up my gut. I feel like I'm very sensitive about my gut. Okay, so is this going okay? I don't know. I'm unsure of myself. All right, Lauren Boebert. She is just be funny. That is the story of my life. Just be funny. All right, Lauren Boebert. She makes all these announcements how she's against the debt ceiling, which to me is hilarious that the Republicans were going to let the economy collapse just so that they can get their way like spoiled children. Like, if we run out of money, we'd have to call Canada or Ecuador or New Zealand and have them co-sign our shit. And they're going to be like, go away, America. You bother us. So, Lauren Boebert. There's this video of her making a statement that she abstained and she was the only person that didn't vote. I didn't go and I wanted to abstain. And so I just didn't think it was right. I didn't feel like this. And she was, to be fair, the whole time talking about how she wasn't going to vote for the debt ceiling. She was. But the bitch missed the appointment and she ran up the stairs like a crazy person. Did I miss it? And that's okay. You made a mistake, but don't make a video 2 days later, liar mouth, saying that you abstained when we all seen you run into the locked doors. They're such a liar. I mean, I know as a Democrat, it's fun to hate on Lauren Boebert. But as a gay man, can I just, Chris, don't be mad at me, but she's a little bit hot. I mean, sometimes I look at her and I'm like, damn, am I even gay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she makes things hot down there. There's something sexy about her. Do you find her sexy, Chris?
I think she's attractive, but
I think
she's kind of sexy.
She is sexy. And straight guys, they love crazy ladies. They do. They're like, I got one at home. Why not one in Washington? That's crazy. What were you going to say? She's nuts.
If politics doesn't work out for her, she could totally be on OnlyFans.
Thank you, Chris. I'll be doing the jokes from here. God, I work alone. I just remembered why I work alone. But she would be hot on OnlyFans. I might have to buy that. I don't know. Don't. I hope the gays don't cancel me, when it's Pride Month and everything. But she is hot. I don't know. There's something about her. I don't know. She wears the right lipstick. I don't know what gay guy is helping her, but someone is helping her. She doesn't look white trashy anymore. You know what I mean? And she is. So what a liar mouth to say that she's not going to vote and she abstained. And then we see a video of her running up the stairs. It's like that Josh Holland guy saying that he's so tough, but he took off running when the J6ers were trying to get his ass. That's why I don't like them. They're so wimp. Oh, weak sauce. Anyways, she's in a pickle. I'll say this in a pickle too. It's been a tough week for Jean Moore. I had a dear friend pass away. Dear friend. I can't talk about it because I'll cry again. And then Tina Turner died. I love Tina Turner. She started her life with 32 cents on a mobile gas card. I tell you what, anytime Jean Moore goes to Texas, my official hotel, Ramada Inn, they helped my sister. I'm always going to stay at the Ramada Inn for helping Tina Turner. I love Tina Turner. She was amazing. 32 cents and a mobile gas card. And she ran for her freedom and changed her life. You can change it too. Oh, man. But, my only fear is with all this death is that can somebody check on Cher? Is she okay? Can somebody call Cher and make sure she's eating vegetables and walking every day? For God's sakes, I'm telling you right now, when Cher dies, it's over for me. I already told anyone around me, my management team, everyone, they know when Cher dies, don't even try to call me. I'm getting Ray Howard. We're getting on a plane and we're going to Malibu to go see Cher. Because, she's going to have an estate sale and I'm going to buy all that stuff, because I'm going to get skinny, But I love me some Cher and I just wish somebody would check on her. So, I don't know. It's a sad. Do you love Cher, Chris?
Of course I love Cher.
I know. There are some, you know what, Chris? There are some gay people who do not love Cher, which is weird to me. It's like, these are the same gay people that haven't watched Mommy Dearest. Mommy Dearest to gay people is a comedy. It is hilarious. It's probably the funniest movie you've ever seen. I love it. I watch it at least twice a year. I watch that and Gandhi. What's Love Got to Do It? The Color Purple. Coal Miner's Daughter. Me and Do. We was just eating bologna sandwiches and getting horny. I love Loretta Lynn. And, these gays out here in these streets, they're not even certified. They don't even know their history. It's shameful. Thank God my boyfriend isn't like that, or else we would be in a pickle. I swear to God. So I'm so glad that you're here. In this show, we're going to have guests, but today I am going to be the first guest. It's the first show. You should get to know me. You may not like me, but I hope you will. I do want to start a new segment. And this segment is called And Nobody's Talking About It. Nobody. You know what, Chris? Can we work on theme music? Let me do the theme music. Tick tock, tick tock. And nobody's talking about it. Okay. Today in this segment of Nobody's Talking About It, this is something I overheard and I looked it up online and it's a real thing. I was at a restaurant and I heard this guy talking to his friend and he said that he takes his girlfriend's pad, her menstrual, what do I call it? Maxi pad. Okay, I was going to say menstrual. I don't know about anything ladylike, you know what I mean? But he took her maxi pad and put it in his area there because he didn't want Gooch juice to be coming down all freely, which is the poop and the sweat from like just being out all day. Gooch juice.
It's Gooch Grease.
Gooch Grease? I don't know. I think Gooch juice is funnier, but it is a thing. This is where we are in America, where straight men are wearing pads because they don't know how to clean their ass and they don't want Gooch Grease coming down or Gooch juice. You know what? I'm going to rename it Gooch juice. I think I'll make it a t-shirt. That's crazy. Nobody's talking about it, but America's in a pickle. We're in trouble when real men are wearing maxi pads because they don't want to clean their taint. That's not good. You know what? This is the kind of shit that makes the aliens not want to come and get us. You know what I mean? Every day I get up, where the hell are the aliens? Like, we have proven we can't live on this planet. It's time for us to have the aliens come back and get us. You know what I mean? And they're up there laughing at men wearing pads so they don't have no Gooch juice coming out on them. That's crazy. Isn't that the craziest thing you ever heard? That is insane. And they say gay people are gross. Really? Really? All we want to do is buy t-shirts and butt plugs at Target, but we're the problem. Okay, we're the problem. Okay, I just want to make sure, America, nobody's talking about it. We're the problem when you aren't talking to your men and they're wearing your pad. That's crazy to me that you would wear a pad and you probably would be sweating worse than that. You know what I mean? I can't say it's nasty. It's just not for me. That's our segment of nobody's talking about it. And you know what? Nobody's talking about it because why do you think people aren't mentioning this? It's bothersome to me. You know what I mean? Like, this is a real problem. I want to write Joe Biden a letter. And you know what? I do want to say this about Joe Biden. Isn't it crazy that he fell again? I mean, like, he's pigeon-toed. And you know what? He fell. You know why he fell? Not because he's uncoordinated. He fell because there were sandbags up there on that stage at West Point. You know Joe Biden is 80 years old and pigeon-toed, and nobody was in charge of getting rid of somebody needs to. You know what? Was it Kamala Harris? Did she okay leaving those sandbags? I'm mad about that. Poor Joe Biden falling in, but he got right back up. You know what I mean? His shoes, the bottom of his shoes, I don't know if you've seen them. They got lots of track on them. Like, they're Skechers. They're the kind of shoes that you wear when you're working at a restaurant, you know, when there's grease on the floor and shit. So bravo to whoever gave him those. Dianne Feinstein's probably like, you need to wear these shoes, Joe, in case you fall.
He has food-safe shoes.
Food-safe shoes? Yeah. Well, you know, hopefully his Gooch juice smelled good when they picked him up. For God's sakes. Oh! Anyways, in this podcast, we're going to go to a segment called The Interview. Now, in this interview, it's going to be me. And so my writer on staff here, Chris, my IT person, my photographer, my filmer, the person that sets up. You know what? He also set up all these T-shirts. Look, blue means, don't tell me, blue means, so when I go on the road and I sell these T-shirts, I sell them real easily. Blue means medium, gold means extra large, red means small, and extra large is black?
Extra large is white.
Extra. What one is black?
Extra large.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm gonna be fitting into if I don't change my ways. I've been eating salads all week, and I let
Monday.
Huh?
It's only Monday.
It's been a long week. Really, it's only Monday. It feels like it's been longer. Oh, I don't know. There's this place we have in Arizona called Salad and Go, and they have a new salad, Chris. Just so you know. I can't say it. It's antipasto. Antipasto. Yeah.
Antipasto.
I have to sound it out. Like, there's certain words I can't say. Like, I can't say. I have to say it real slow. Like, when there's a lot of selection, like variety. Like, my candles have variety of colors. I have to really sound it out. Like, I can't also. You know what? People probably think I'm special needs because I can't say certain words. Like, when I go to the movies and I want that candy I like, I have to say, could I have a box of Reese's Pieces? Like, I gotta sound it out. Like, I can't say it fast. If it comes out like, people are like, what's wrong with you? I don't know. I don't have Gooch juice, though. I tell you that. Anyways, let's move on to the interview and with some questions. And Chris, is this doing okay? Is this funny? You want me to be funnier or what? What's happening?
Great.
Oh, okay, I'm doing great. Okay, let me just look at my notes. Let me think. Okay, all right. Okay, got it.
Joe Rogan better watch out.
Joe Rogan? Oh, I don't think he has anything to worry about. Joe Rogan is buff, isn't he? Isn't it funny how straight guys go crazy for Joe Rogan? Straight guys always talk about me being gay, like, you know what I mean? But they're gay.
Crush on him.
I know. Anything that Joe Rogan does, they do. You know what I mean? Like, he ate worms and rats, for God's sakes. I mean, he's a good person, but let's not forget, he made people that's why when COVID was coming out and he was saying all that crazy shit, I'm like, no, I'm not taking medical advice from someone that made people put their hands in rats. God, people just forget in this country. You know what I mean? It's insane, and nobody's talking about it. But anyways, that's the last segment. Chris, fire away that first question on Questions with Gene Moore.
Who is someone you would like to see get E. coli?
these are mean questions, Chris. This is a feel good podcast. Like we're not doing mean stuff. And you know I'm hungry. Okay, who would I like to see get E. coli? Well, I'll say this. There isn't anybody on this planet I dislike. I do not dislike anyone. There has been, but Gene Moore has come to terms with hating people. I realize when I hate people, there's really parts of me inside of them that I don't like. And so rather than face what I don't like and fix, or face what I don't like about other people, I just don't think about them, and then I like myself. That's how I deal with my problems. Out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? I had bad credit for years, and the bill collectors would call me. I didn't care. I didn't answer that phone. I didn't care. You know what I mean? I remember one time in the 2008, remember that when we were poor, and the 2008 crash, remember we lost a lot of stuff, and we called the car company and told them, come get this car. And they were like shocked. I'm like, no, you need to come get this. I can't make the payments. Tell me where you are. I will come and bring it to you. And they're like, no, let's work it out. I think they let me have that car for like 7 months. Wasn't it crazy? Oh, insane. Anyways, E. coli. Who would I wish to have E. coli? Me, because I think I would lose weight. Like it'd be like eating worms and I would lose it. I will say this about E. coli, Chris. I once did a show for field workers and farmers, and I told the field workers, and the farmers did not like it. They were growing spinach, and I said, don't go to the bathroom. If you have to take it number 2, just shit on all the spinach, shit on everything. Give everyone E. coli. If they don't want your brown ass here, let them suffer. Let them go to the bathroom, because it's wrong. We're all children of the same God, and this is the United States of America. This is how it works. Irish people come, Russian people come, everyone takes their turn, and everyone likes to be an asshole to someone that's below you. And it's just fun to pick on Mexican people, but you know what? Fine. But we're going to give you the shits. So, yeah. Next question. Was that too mean? I don't want to be too mean on my first podcast.
No, it was a mean question. So.
Okay, good. Thank you. What's the next one?
What are you most self-conscious about?
You know, whenever I take a photo at a show or after a show, I always put my hand over my gut like this. Like all those bad food choices are going to go away because you're going to see my hand and not my gut. My friend Curtis Hollerman, he always says, Gene, quit doing that. Every time I take a picture like that, he'll circle it and send it to me. And he's like, we all see your gut. So, you know, I'm self-conscious about my gut. Not enough to do anything about it. And as I've been eating salad now all week, even though it's Monday. That's an accomplishment for me. I even did a sit-up today. I did one sit-up. So I'm working out. I think, honestly, to be honest, the thing that I'm most self-conscious about, the thing I'm most worried about is stinking. I don't want to be a stinky person. I always, like, if you hug me after a show, I smell like soap, like nice soaps and lotions. I use Molten Brown. Shout out Joe Basilla, who turned me on to this English soap. I use Molten Brown at night. It's recharged pepper. And it smells kind of like back in, if you guys remember the 90s, like I do, when I had that, beautiful skinny body back in the 90s, when I was in them streets and at my dancing weight, I would wear Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit was a cologne that I always felt like made you really sexy. It was like very woodsy, like a winter cologne. And then in the summertime, I would wear Curve. Because Curve was the shit. Yeah, on that pleather couch and my Curve, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was the shit. I still am. A little fatter, though. But yeah, that's my worst fear. And it comes from, and here's the thing, it comes from in 8th grade, this girl I went to school with, all through school, everybody teased her because her hands were like this. Like she had lobster hands. Like her hand, she didn't have all the fingers. They were kind of like all welded together. Like kind of like she was an Aquaman lady, but her hands were like crabs. And they used to tease her. But something happened on 7th grade when she went home that summer. I don't know if she found love or she went to some like Anthony Robbins, Let's Walk on Rocks crab people. So they gave her confidence. So she came back mean and she came back that year and she did something I didn't know at the time, but it was projection. And that was she took all her insecurity and put it on me. And she told everybody, something stinks in here. Something smells. And it's Gene Moore. That's what she'd say. And her lobster hands would be pointing at me. And then everyone would say, yeah, he does stink. And so then I always like was self-conscious about smelling. And I would like really like not move and like take many showers so I would smell good. So to this day, if somebody smells something, they go, what's that smell? It's not me. It's not me. That's because of Lobster Girl. Anyways, questions with Gene Moore. What's the next question on questions with Gene Moore?
Have you ever been in a fight?
I have been in a fight. I have. I used to get into fights a lot when I was in high school, not because I would pick them, but because I remember in high school, the bullies was on me. The football team, they would always take off their shirts and chase me. And sometimes I'd run real fast, and sometimes I'd slow down and let them catch up a little bit so I could see them. And then they were so cute, but they used to scare me. But yeah, they would get into fights with me, and I would have to fight back. But here's the thing, Chris, this is embarrassing. When I get into fights, I get a boner. I don't know, something happens down there, and I get and they're like, he's got a rager. It's embarrassing when you have a boner and you're fighting, I was so terrified when I was in the Army. I'm like, if I go to war, I'm going to hurt myself down there. Next question on Questions with Gene Moore on the In a Pickle podcast.
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. You know what? Going to parties, that is my biggest fear. I do not like being in social settings, which is weird because I can get up in front of strangers and I can entertain them. But getting up in front of going to a party and not having an official role. Like if I go to the party, I'm going to go to the kitchen and act like I'm in charge of getting the ice and cleaning and make sure all the chips are filled. I'm going to give myself a job because I'm Mexican, but because I have to have a role. So that is a fear of mine. And, it's not comfortable to get up in front of people, but I push myself to do it. Am I being evasive? Is that true? Do you think I have another fear? I do have another fear. I have a fear of dying in my house at night and my sink being dirty. Even if I'm exhausted and I'm tired, I could be out of town and I come home and I'm exhausted. If there are dishes or anything in that sink, I get out the Comet and I clean it like Mommy Dearest. Is it clean to you? Is it clean to you? I do. Because I don't want the paramedics to think I'm dirty. You know what I mean? Like, what if they get a drink of water? They'll let me die. What's the next question?
How do you celebrate Pride Month?
How do I celebrate Pride Month? Celebrate. I don't really celebrate Pride Month per se. Usually I'm working and doing a lot of shows during Pride Month, and it's hot. The gays in Phoenix used to hate me because I would do Pride shows, and we would do Pride comedy shows during the day in Indian School Park, and it was hot. It would be hot. And I remember the first year we'd have to run from stage to stage. We would entertain and then we would run to the next stage. We would do 3 shows, and then I would always do nighttime shows. We would be exhausted. So Pride is always exhausting for me. I remember one year my friend Ernesto, because I was so tired, he gave me Mexican diet pills, and it's like speed, and I was crazy. I was insane. I did everybody's time on those comedies. Yeah, nobody liked being around me. I was insane, but I will say this about Pride. Tony Tripoli and I, we did Pride in Las Vegas, and it's very touching, Pride, to see parents bringing their children to Pride. And I think it's very... I come from a different generation where my family wasn't okay with me being gay. We're not going to go dark. That'll be a fight. But I didn't have a good childhood or coming out. I was actually outed, but I love going to Pride and seeing parents with their kids. And I think that's so affirming, and I think it's so positive. I know those fake Christians who don't read the Bible, who don't understand the Bible, don't understand love, and don't understand that when you have your parents' support, it saves you from, a life of decadence, like promiscuous sex and drugs, trying to find your self-esteem in the arms of someone. But I think it's amazing. I love that about Pride. I love that. I don't like the corporateness of this. Gay has gone mainstream, and I'm not always cool with that. I liked it when it was, when you could buy your pot in the streets, or, pod, when you could wear assless chaps anywhere, you know what I mean? It's a little bit more family friendly now, and I kind of regret that, but I do think it's good. I think we're moving towards the right thing. Do you think it's good to not be able to wear your assless chaps?
It's too mainstream.
It's too mainstream for you? You know what? I'll tell you this, Chris. One time I was in Pride. After the shows, we went to Denny's. And over where we live, the Denny's is called Jenny's because it's in the gay part of town. And this man walked in with assless chaps. And and there was a cop sitting right across from me. And I was like, oh, shit, this is going to go down. And he walked by. And, I'm a tattletale. And I said, hey, is he okay? And she said, and I quote, yeah, his butthole's covered. And I said, what? And she said, as long as we don't see the butthole, everything's good. And I said, you know what? That's a metaphor for life. As long as you cover your butthole, you're fine. You are good. What's the next question on Questions with Gene Moore?
What is something that brings you joy, but you should actually be ashamed of?
Okay, this is bad. People are not gonna like me, but I have to be truthful here. When I see what are those Tesla cars break down on the side of the highway, I kind of get a little bit of joy out of that, because those people who drive it are kind of assholes. Not all of them, but I'd say like 93.5% of them are. They're like just jerky people. You know what I mean? They're like, I don't know. Is that wrong? Plus, I don't trust Elon Musk. I feel like he's diabolical, and like one day he's going to shut down all the cars on the highway. I don't trust him at all. Yeah, is that wrong?
No, not at all.
Okay.
They're jerks.
I know. Chris wants us to get an electric car. He's been thinking about it, but I'm like, great. Just another thing, like my phone battery. I never keep that charged. Just another thing to, I have to keep charged and keep track of. Like, you know what I mean? I'm struggling here with everything. What's the next question? You don't want to get an electric car anymore, do you?
Not a Tesla.
Not Tesla, thank you.
Something else.
We're Christians in this house.
All right, next question. Why don't you have your own Netflix special yet?
Because I'm not funny. It takes a long time to be funny. And I'm honest, there are some people out here, they think they're hilarious. And I'm like, ooh, were you in the same room as me? Like, I don't know. But I'm getting there. I'm a work in progress. And I like it. I work a lot. I do at least 250 live shows a year, and I work a full-time job. And I do think it is time, Chris, for me to make a decision on, what I'm going to do. Like, do I keep working at my full-time job? Do I go to part-time? Do I give up comedy? Do I, what would I do next? Sell Teslas? I don't know. I could go out there and give seminars on how to clean your taint so you don't have to wear a maxi pad. I could do that. I think there's a calling for that. Next question.
Do you have a ghost story?
Ghosts. Of course I do. I'm Mexican. Yes, I have several ghost stories. I grew up in a haunted house. I grew up in a haunted house where the ghost would come every night and my brother would pee the bed and we would just wake up all wet every night. It was terrifying. We had rashes all the time. Like, it was a terrifying thing. Yeah, we did have the ghosts in that story. But, even more than that, my mom and my uncles, they're super Mexican, super big family. And they had a ghost that was man, it was like a weird man was walking down the country road. They lived in the country, and this man was walking down dragging a wagon, pulling a wagon. He was like a man in like overalls, and he was acting like he was childlike. So there's probably something wrong with him. But my uncles and aunts started making fun of him and throwing rocks at him. They did, yeah. And so that night, when my grandparents went to a wedding, they were fighting. There was always fighting in that house. They went to a wedding, and when that night they were haunted. Something got on the roof and was running all over the house, and it would like lean over the house and put a flashlight or some kind of lighting system into the bedrooms, and they would say, "He's in my room." No, he's in my room on the other side of the house. Like, this was terrifying. And then he would, whatever it was, the ghost or the man or whatever it was, would run to where they had the water well, and it was like picking in there, and my uncles went out with shotguns, and they were trying to find him, and they couldn't find him. And so they called the cops, and the cops came, and they saw someone on the roof running around really fast, and then came towards them, and the cops turned around and left. I know, it's terrifying. There is a lot of spirit. My grandmother, her stepfather was a male witch, and so I don't feel comfortable talking about it, but there was a lot of inappropriate things going on in that house, and my grandmother wanted to leave that house, so she married the first man that she found, and he put a curse on our family. And so, like, I'm not allowed to say my grandmother's maiden name, because my grandfather said if you say that name, it will bring up and conjure, the hex that my grandfather had removed from us because it was on us. And so I'll tell you this, every house that I ever lived in, I always feel a spirit. But here in Arizona, I'm protected. I don't feel anything. I don't feel any ghosts. You know what I mean? And I check. Every night I get up and check these windows and doors religiously. I do my security audit. But I am worried about, what is that thing they call it, frogging? Like somebody gets in your attic and lives up there. That freaks me out. You know what I mean? Like a home invasion thing. Thank God we're gays with guns. We'll kill you. Come in this house, right? What else, Chris?
That's all the questions.
That's all the questions? That's all it is? Okay. Well, this has been Gene Moore, the podcast called In a Pickle. It's our first show. It's not perfect, as you can see. What were you going to say? You were going to point something to me?
So what's on your table?
Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Look at the fancy stickers that we have here. Like, we are killing it with tape and paper. Yes, the G More podcast is serious about our brand identification. So I have these candles, and they have my face on them, and I'm selling these candles. You wouldn't believe the United States government charges so much money to send these in the mail. If you go to my website, is it $25? It's $25, but it includes the shipping. So $25, and it's just for the shipping. The shipping is expensive because, I don't know why mail is so expensive. And they come in 3 different colors, and they're candles. And you may say, why is it a candle? I'll say this. It is my job in this planet to light up the world and to help remind people that we come from another place. You're in this world, but not of this world, and we are supposed to be the light for each other. And if you don't have that light in you, or it's dimmed, or it's not there, I'll sell you a light for $15 in person or $25 online. So that's what I'm selling the candles for. And it helps me go on the road and come to a town near you to entertain and just to be silly. And then I also have these t-shirts and I almost said it. I'm getting good. So I'm getting good. Like, I think you just don't focus on it. So I'm selling these shirts, and I'm selling these for $20 in person, and
I thought it was $25 in person.
Is it? Yeah. These are things that we should know, Chris, before the podcast. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna flash the prices on here post edit. That's what we're gonna do. But you know what else you can do? If you go to GeneMooreComedy.com, you'll be able to get all the prices and see all that. But I am asking you, with love, if you could help support this dream of me going out and coming to your town and just telling jokes and just trying to make the world a better place. That's all we're trying to do. And this podcast is a relationship. we're going to be here. I want to hear what you like, what you don't like. Chris, people are going to tell us the truth. So are you ready for that? Like sometimes they're mean. You can't be mad when they say mean things because we're asking for feedback, okay?
I won't be mad if they're mean to you, no.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having my back. It's just going to make me... I don't care. You can say whatever you want. I don't think... I do care. I care what people think about me desperately. I know. It's so sad. I don't... I always hear people say, I don't care what people think, or I'm at that age. When does that happen? When does that happen that you don't care about what people think about you? Like, I don't know. Like, if you say I stink, I'm going to think of that lobster girl. She scarred me. I got to get ready and be more confident because if I meet Lauren Boebert and slept with her, she expects a real man. Not really, because did you see her man? He's a whim. He beat the shit out of them kids. They say they're family values, but he beats the shit out of them. They call the 911 on their daddy. On their
pervert.
He is he pulled out his wiener and showed some girl his wiener. That is weird.
Public place.
Not even in a glory hole, for God's sakes. He just did it in a public straight people, you are nasty. You say that for the glory hole. You know what I mean? He probably did that when it was even Pride. For God's sakes. Anyways, let's go ahead and show them how we close out this show. Chris, thank you for being on here and helping. I know it was kind of boring. We'll do better on the next one. I just want to say we need to be good to each other. We need to love each other. And remember, always put away your shopping cart. It says everything about you. When you don't put your shopping cart away, it says you're a piece of shit and that you weren't raised right. So put away your cart, because I can't tell you how many dings are in my car because you bitches don't put away your cart. So put away your cart. And don't take your cart down the street and the sidewalk. If you're poor, then maybe you only buy like 3 things of groceries. Don't buy all your groceries and then steal the cart, and then Gene Moore has to get the loud cart in the store, and then when I go and get cookies, everyone knows that I'm in there buying shit I don't need. Get me in trouble. I'm supposed to be on a diet eating salads, and then my boyfriend's like, I heard you in the cookie aisle. Bitch, people got me in trouble. Anyways, this is Gene Moore. This has been our podcast. We hope that you come back. Give us our feedback. Give us feedback on what we can do to make it better. We know we need to... I hope they don't make fun of our curtains. Do you know how long it took us to find these curtains? We had... You know what? That was a fight about these curtains, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't help me put them up.
I wouldn't help you put them up? Well, I thought... Because I don't have taste. I wanted old lady curtains, right? Is that what I wanted? Yeah. So it did take us... Anyways, look how distracted I get when I don't eat hamburger and fries. Anyways, this has been Gene Moore, and this is my podcast called In a Pickle, and I hope you come back and join us. Thank you so much, and please, thank you, and go to GeneMooreComedy.com, our sponsor. Thank you, guys. I love you. I hope to see you back.